play in the mud a lot of times as a way of cooling down and using the mud like a natural sunscreen. Now, it seems like they're going to be hiding from us at the moment. We'll be able to see some other rhinos. Actually, there he is, over there on your left-hand side, laying down right behind the rock on your left. Now, the black rhinos will weigh anywhere between about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, move at high speeds about 20 to 25 miles per hour. And unfortunately, they are being poached for their horns made out of keratin, which is the same material made out of your fingernails. Now, a group of rhinos is referred to as a crasher rhinos, just because they don't have the best eyesight, and they're known to crash into things. Here in the reserve, they're more likely to just be in the middle of the road, not knowing that they're in the middle of the road because they're poor eyesight. They can only see about 10 feet directly in front of them. We'll also be able to find some other rhinos a little later on, some of the white rhinos. We also have some little ones for the white rhinos like to play in the middle of the road. And they've been doing that about this morning.
Hi, everybody. What's happening with the video?
But now we're going to be exiting the Cherry Forest and making our way over towards the Safi River area. Go see if we can try and find some of the aquatic animals like the hippos, the Nile crocodile, as well as the pigback pelicans over here. I can already see a couple of the pigback pelicans coming up over on our right-hand side. They get their name because they usually have a pink back during mating season. Both the males and females commonly take care of the nest together. Also, one of the hippos is actually in the water over there on your right-hand side. Hippos will spend most of the day in the water. They can actually hold their breath for about 8 minutes or so. Also, see if we get a better view of some of the other hippos, though, coming up shortly over here on our left-hand side. Now, a group of hippos is actually referred to as a bloat or rat hippos. Their sweat is red, and sometimes give their skin a little pink pigmentation. That works also as a natural sunscreen, though, for them. Now, they can move at high speeds, about 20 to 25 miles per hour, in and out of the water. I wouldn't say the most graceful swimmers, though. They'll come and bounce around at the bottom of the water as a main forward motion. Since they just bounce around at the bottom of the water, they really just walk about 3,000 to 4,000 pounds for these hippos. Now, we're going to go see if we can try and find any of the Nile crocodiles that will also hang out in these waterways over here. I do see the tail end of a couple of them over here on our left-hand side. Now, the Nile crocodiles will have an extremely strong bite force that can break through bone. Range in size anywhere between about 10 to 15 feet long and weigh about 500 pounds or so. Now, they usually eat fish in their diet, but they don't eat almost any animal that enters their waters, up to animals the size of zebras or wildebeest. Making our way over towards the savannah to go see if we can try and find some zebras and wildebeest. But before we enter the savannah, there's actually a tree coming up over here on our right-hand side. You might be able to recognize it, known as the baobab tree. It's also referred to as the upside-down tree or the tree of life. And it gets those names mainly because it goes 9 months out of the year without having any leaves. It can also store up to about 30,000 gallons of water inside of their trunk. Right now we seem to have a little bit of another slowdown, probably for some giraffes in the middle of the road. They're one of the main culprits over here for going in the middle of the road other than the rhinos. We do try and bribe the animals with some of their favorite foods, but the giraffes I think do it on purpose, just get those extra treats of theirs. Over here on your right hand side will be that baobab tree. Also be able to find a couple, but later on out here on the savannah. We're going to make our way down this hill, though, to go see some of the animals. Every single animal plays an important role in the ecosystem. The elephants will be known as the bulldozers, calmly knocking down decaying trees, while the giraffes will usually eat from the healthy ones. And the antelope, zebra, gazelle, and wildebeest fall in from the grasses and the shrubbery here. I can see some of the giraffes way off in this. We'll get a better view of them once we're able to make some more turns, though. See what will be some of the closer animals, though, like the zebras over here on the right-hand side. These will be some of the Hartman Mountain zebras. They're actually going to have a dewlap on their neck, which is like an extra skin flap that helps them thermoregulate. These zebras are going to be black with white stripes. Main way you can tell that is their nose are black and the first striping on their leg is also black. They won't make any whinnies or neighs, so they'll make a snorting or grunting noise, their main way of communicating between one another. And a group of zebras is just referred to as a dazzle of zebras, just because they confuse their predators with all those different striping patterns in a large group. I'm going to go see if we can try and find some of the African pink wild dogs who usually hang out behind these bushes coming up shortly over here on our left-hand side.
Nossa, esse daqui já tá 5 minutos de vídeo aqui.
You'll be able to see some of them laying down over here on the left-hand side near that small tree in the shade on your left. Now, these African painted wild dogs will hunt in packs anywhere up to about 5 to 15 of them. They have one of the best hunting rates on the reserve. Hunting success rate is close to 90%. If it gives you any indication, lions only about 20 to 25% successful on their hunts. Which means these guys are actually over 3 times more likely to get something compared to a lion when hunting. Now, females will be the leaders of their hunting parties as well as their packs, and compared to the canines, they actually have 4 toes compared to normal 5. And the birds that are with them are just going to be the Florida vultures. They unfortunately eat the food from almost every single animal actually out here on the reserve. We're going to go see if we can try and find, it looks like some of the sable antelopes over here on our left-hand side. Now, sable antelopes can defend themselves from lions by charging at a lion, or if the lion jumps out of the back, they are connected to defend themselves with those curved horns. The males will be a black or sable coloration. The females will be a dark brown coloration. Now, also coming up over here on our right and left-hand side will be some termite mounds. They'd be as strong as concrete, which made the dirt and slide from the termites. While the animals on the reserve will commonly use them as a scratching post, and it can be anywhere between about 10 to 15 feet tall. We're going to start making our way though to try and get a better view of the giraffes off in the distance. And it looks like some of the elands are actually out and about, pretty close to the road up ahead. Be able to see one of the elands just eating some grass near that truck over there on your left-hand side. But elands can actually jump about 6 to 8 feet straight up into the air. They have a dewlap on their neck, which is like an extra skin flap, just like the Arctic mountain zebra. It's just a little bit more pronounced. And both male and female eland will actually have a twist in their horns. It'll be one of the biggest antelope species in the world, bigger than the wildebeest, the greater kudu, as well as the bongo. Looks like also we see some of the Ankole cattle, some wildebeest, and some springbok over here, coming up shortly on our right-hand side. The springbok will be the smaller animals near that secondary road on our right-hand side. The springbok can actually move at high speeds about 50 to 55 miles per hour, about 6 to 8 feet straight up into the air and 13 feet across. And because they're great athleticism, some sports teams will actually have them as their mascot. They also have an interesting ridge on their back that raise up, alerting the rest of the herd if there's danger nearby. Now, the animals that kind of look like cows with really large horns off in the distance on that hillside on your right are going to be some of the Ankole cattle. Now, their horns can be anywhere between about 3 to 4 feet long. They have a comb-shaped structure on the interior of them, which makes them surprisingly light and also something to regulate as well. Those massive horns only weigh about 5 pounds or so. They're also known as Watusi cattle, first domesticated and discovered by the Watusi tribe. Now, the elands will be the animals, actually one of them crossing the road, as well as this other one to the backside that's walking around. Now, the giraffes over here, it looks like the majority of them are actually straight ahead. A group of them is actually referred to as a tower of giraffes. This is how tall they are. They range in height anywhere between 14 to 16 feet tall. Now, this horn-like structure is known as the ossicodes on top of their forehead, as well as a prehensile tongue, just like the okapi that we saw earlier. Now, they use their tongue like an extra appendage to try and grab the leaves off the tall trees over here. The tongues will actually be over a foot long, and they're going to be blue to prevent sunburn on them. Now, since these are Maasai giraffes, they have a little bit of an irregular patterning to them compared to the reticulated giraffe you might be able to see over at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. The pattern reminds me more of like a paint splotchy pattern compared to the reticulated giraffe's more geometric shape pattern. And the patterns are so unique it's almost like the equivalent of our fingerprints would identify one of the part by them. Now, the other animals over here on our right are going to be some of the wildebeest. Now, a group of them is actually referred to as a confusion wildebeest, just how easy it is to startle or confuse them. To make a migration known as the Great Migration, migrating about 500 to 1,000 miles. About 1.5 million wildebeest and other animals on the reserve will make a similar migration. And in Dutch Afrikaans, their names mean wild beast. One of the first names that they actually had was new, referring to the grunting noise that they would make, so they were called noo-noos. We're going to go see if we can try and find some of the elephants and some of the monkeys that will hang out with us next. These elephants will eat about 300 pounds worth of food per day per elephant. They're strong creatures. They actually have more muscles inside their trunk than we do in a whole entire body. We have about 600 muscles inside our body, and they have over 40,000 muscles just inside their trunk. They're smart creatures. They can solve complex puzzles as well as work as a team together. And the gestation period for the African elephant is actually close to 2 years, about 22 months. Now we're going to go see if we can try and find the rest of the herd of these elephants, so they'll hang out in the next area. They actually take a bridge to make their way in between the 2 different areas. We're going to have to take our own bridge though to go see the rest of the herd.
Adorando. Roll closer.
Should be afraid of bees. So a lot of farmers in Africa will commonly create a beehive fence line. There's beehives that are on or near the fences. Be able to see some of the other baobab trees over here, also on their right and left. More recent discovery though about these elephants, scientists discovered that they almost have like a seismic sense capability, being able to communicate actually between one another by just stomping on the ground. But I want to go see if we can try and find any of the flamingos hang out out in this next area.
Bicho, que doido. Olha, flamingos. Look at the flamingo.
Over here on the left-hand side will be some of the greater flamingos. Now, a group of them is referred to as a flamboyance of flamingos. They'll primarily be filter feeders, but they'll try and eat is brine